Welcome to the CURES digital show and podcast where we explore the leading edge of wellness. I'm Kara Sunderland. Today's episode is all about how to fall back asleep, and it's made possible by the Center for Advanced Reproductive Services. So have you had trouble getting back to sleep? We're going to talk about how you can do that. Maybe you have trouble sleeping. Maybe you're up in the middle of the night and you just can't fall back asleep. My guest knew that feeling all too well as a doctor who was often called in the middle of the night, and she just couldn't fall back asleep. And that's why Dr. Wei-Shin Lai created SleepPhones. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
You know, I read that you used to listen to relaxing music, which when I'm having trouble sleeping, I often think that's a good thing for me to do. But you ran into the trouble that sometimes the earbuds are uncomfortable or they fall out.
Yeah, absolutely. So in fact, I was in practice as a family doctor in Stamford, Connecticut at the time. And I would get phone calls at 3 a.m. And then, I needed something to relax my mind so I could fall back asleep. And I was complaining to my husband, and he suggested, well, how about you listen to this music? Great, but earbuds, yeah, they poke in my ears. And then the headphones that go over your ears, well, you can't sleep on your side, and they're just uncomfortable in bed. So we invented our own.
Yeah, so there you go. You said, okay, we're going to invite. But, this is just something that you wanted to do. And we have a picture. Our director, Angela, I want to see if we can throw that up. It kind of looks like what I used to wear skiing as a kid, the little fuzzy headbands. So it's super comfortable. And so there they are. You can see a picture for those of you who aren't listening in your car, and I'll describe it for those who are. It has a 24-hour playback, and it's like a felt, very comfortable headband. And this was just something that you decided to create, and then all of a sudden it just started. You decided to create a business, and it was just selling out.
Yeah, right. So my husband and I, we started making it for myself, and it actually worked. It stayed on all night. It was super comfortable. And yeah, you're right. It just slips right on over your head. And we have super thin speakers inside that, don't hurt your ears when you're laying on them and stuff like that. And so after we came up with that design, we thought, well, I've got all these people on sleeping pills, and I know it's not good for them. So why don't we just make a few more and see what happens? So we set up our kitchen table. He bought me a sewing machine for my birthday. I bought him a soldering iron for his birthday. And then we just went to town.
And so now, as a doctor, I think that's maybe what gets people a little more interested, because there's so many products out there, but you don't know if they actually work or if they're safe. But you actually felt the need to want to be able to help your patients get off sleeping pills. And have you been able to do that?
Yes, it was really amazing. So when we first started selling them online, we get the reports back from customers, and they said that, they've been taking sleeping pills for 10 years, and finally they were able to come off. Or somebody said it saved their marriage because they could finally sleep next to their snoring husband. And so it was reports like that over and over, all these people just improving their lives like dramatically. They're saying that's life-changing, right? And so then that's when we knew, okay, so we better go into business with this, because this is changing people's lives, and it's perhaps helping more people than I could in my day job as a family doctor, just seeing 20 patients a day or so. This is helping hundreds of people every day.
Well, maybe more, right? You've sold close to 2 million pairs of SleepPhones.
Right. Yeah, we've been in business for almost 15 years now. So yes, we've sold almost 2 million SleepPhones all over the world, all 7 continents. In fact, it's kind of funny. It went to Antarctica on a graduate student research trip. So it has literally been on every continent.
Wow. Okay. So I imagine as a doctor, you are a scientist, so you must have wanted to know the science behind this. Are you finding out even what's some of the science about why listening to music or blocking out other noises can really help us turn back on our sleep mechanism? Does it help us create more melatonin, or what happens?
So part of it is just the routine of having this physical thing that you need to do. You put this on, you turn on your music, and then you listen to, whatever it is that's relaxing for you. You can listen to anything because these are just regular headphones. They can play anything on your phone. So if it's meditation or white noise, or even your favorite game on the or radio show or anything like that, whatever relaxes you. And that is what we found most helpful is just to be able to listen to what works. And so, in fact, my husband, who is a game developer, he writes computer games and stuff like that. He invented kind of an artificial intelligence mechanism to detect what sounds actually help the most. So there are specialized sounds that are scientifically designed to kind of zone out your mind, to like help you focus on that sound, and then to quickly relax your brain, basically.
Right, binaural beats I've heard of, meaning like that, the binaural
Yes.
beats. Okay, yeah, and if people, I've reported on those before, but if people are wondering, go on YouTube and put in binaural beats, and I guess apparently most of Mozart's music was binaural beats also, but so just certain things, and more than anything else, it's the habit of putting this on, and over time, your body just knows, okay, it's time to relax, or, you're hearing the sink drip, and you're hearing all this happen, and you can't tune it out, or your snoring partner. So just being able to block out other noises, I'm sure, is an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some people have like tinnitus, which are just random sounds that they hear. And it could be a high pitched sound, or it could even be kind of a buzzing sound or something like that. A lot of people have that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Whatever is going on outside, the lawnmower, a lot of people actually listen to sleep phones when during the day if they work nights. So that's kind of another use case, is shift work.
Okay, yeah, great for those third shifters out there. Do they come in different sizes, different colors? I want to let people know, they can find you on social media at SleepPhones, or go to sleepphones.com, but will these work on anybody?
Yeah, so right, they come in 3 sizes. Most people wear the medium, and you can also size down if you tend to have a smaller head, and you wear smaller hats and stuff like that. So feel free to get the smaller size, or you can get the larger if you tend to be, a big person with lots of hair or something like that. And then they come in different colors and different fabrics too. We actually have a fabric which is very soft and fleecy, and then we have another one that is more of an athletic fabric for people who kind of sleep a little on the hot side. And so then it really is for everybody. And you can listen to anything. And so even traveling, that's kind of another use case where
Be
a lot
great
of
in a
people
plane,
tend to
yeah.
use sleep. Yeah.
So also, it is a headband, the athletic one. It made me think that I guess if you wanted to, and you weren't sleeping, but you also wanted to use it to listen to music while you went running or something like that, it would also work like that?
Yes, absolutely. We actually have a version called Run Phones, which you can find on runphones.com. But yeah, a lot of people just wear their sleep phones out too for, various purposes. And because it's wireless with a 24-hour battery life, you can go jogging for a long time and not have to worry about charging things up. And it doesn't fall out like some of those little things that poke in your ears.
Yes. Okay. So I have actually tried that before when I needed to fall back asleep and maybe some noises are bothering me. You put the AirPods in, and then as soon as you roll to the side, they fall out, right? So I used to think, what if I had somebody to put the AirPods and keep them in? But that's what you thought of, and you created it.
Exactly. Right. With the really thin speakers, I think that's key. And we pad them so that they're super soft and they don't hurt your ears. And so, yeah, we've had, so much success over the years. And so many people have benefited. I feel like, I'm doing more by being in business to help people around the world than I would as a family doctor, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. And are you still in practice as a doctor?
Not anymore. Although with the pandemic, I've done some volunteering as a doctor. But yeah, I'm mostly focusing on growing the business worldwide at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So if so many people, I don't know if you have any statistics, but it seems as though, especially during the pandemic, more and more people have had sleeping problems. People who were great sleepers and then all of a sudden are finding themselves having difficulty. Can you talk a little bit about just how rampant sleep problems are in our country?
Oh my goodness. So actually, about 1/3 of us report some episode of insomnia every year. So, insomnia is defined as 2 weeks of poor sleep, and it could be because you don't allot enough time to sleep, or it could be because your schedule is off because now you're working from home, and so there's a lot more flexibility, and so then perhaps you stay up watching something too late or something like that, and so then your schedule kind of gets mixed up. And so yeah, during the pandemic we've actually seen a huge increase in sales from all over the world. I think people are more anxious, and they are sleeping poor, and also this is a non-medicinal way. It's very natural to help your mind relax. And so then, of course, it doesn't interfere with anything that you might have to take or things like that. And yeah, so this is um, when 1/3 of us have problems sleeping, it's a huge deal, and it really improves your lives during the day. It decreases heart attacks and high blood pressure, diabetes. All of these things can result from poor sleep, and that's why I feel really good about having a product that is natural and complements anything else that your doctor might prescribe to help you sleep.
Yeah, and you mentioned the snoring, but I want to go back to that. A lot of couples are finding that it's, they got to get up, they got to move to the couch, or sadly, they're just going, all right, we'll just sleep in separate rooms. So if the snoring is what's keeping you awake, this is going to work enough to block out the snoring?
Right. So a lot of times it's those little things in the snoring that kind of bother you. Maybe it's kind of a gasp or something like that that you're like, oh, and then you become alert to that, and that's what wakes you up. And so what this does is to help provide that layer of you know noise, for lack of a better term, to so that you focus on that rather than the snoring. So yeah, absolutely. It helps with that. And even people who have sleep apnea, a lot of times they'll wear their CPAP along with sleep phones because the sound of the machine bothers them and they can't
Oh,
sleep because the
okay.
sound of the machine is going. And so it could be anything that's in your sleep environments that's disturbing you. We've even had people who say, their dog snores in their bed. And so then this is something that helps with that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm thinking, anytime you want to zone out, maybe you want to meditate or you want to study or something. So this is just an idea, a way to, a kind of a physical way and comfortable way to shut out the world a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And did you, I know that you came up with this idea, but you were a doctor. I know a lot of people want to go into business. A lot of people had great ideas during the pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about how you created the business and maybe some advice for others who have an idea they want to bring to market?
Sure. So when we talk about business, people think entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurs take risks and are gutsy and things like that, and they have to invest a lot of money. But we kind of did the opposite of that. So as a doctor, you don't want a risk taker as a doctor. So my personality is definitely very risk averse. I don't want to go out on a limb, spend too much money, go into debt, quit my job, and just start a business. So we did not do that. In fact, for the first 5 years, we kept our day jobs, both my husband and I. And so, we made the first 500 pieces ourselves, on our kitchen table, and we set up the website and just sold them. We didn't invest more than just a few $100s, in the very beginning, buying some of these materials to make what we needed to make. Um, so it was definitely just something that was kind of a hobby. It was homegrown, and then over time, as we saw the successes and how important it was to other people's lives, we decided, okay, so let's focus a little bit more on this. And then gradually by year 5 was when we decided to go full time. We rented a warehouse, hired our first employees, and went from there. So yeah, it was definitely kind of a slow growth, bootstrapped. We never had investors or anything like that. You know, it is risky both ways, in fact, to grow slowly versus growing quickly.
Yep.
And we happen to find success by growing slowly.
Well, I want to let people know that the ones that, if they're listening to this interview and they really want the ones that you have created, and you've spent, like you said, a lot of care and time to work this out, you being your first patient. SleepPhones is at sleepphones.com, and you can follow on social media at SleepPhones. I noticed there's a lot of other things. If you Google SleepPhones, that come up. Maybe some lesser quality or lesser expensive products on Amazon, but yours are the ones that we're speaking of. I guess are anywhere they range. I'm looking down here, $39.95 up to around $100. Different prices. Are yours a better quality than? I guess if you just Google SleepPhones, you're going to find some other similar things.
Right. They look similar, and they'll, copy us in many ways. But the fabric, we have exclusive fabric that's very soft. And we also have those really thin speakers and a special way to pad those speakers so that they're, they just really don't bother your ears. Some of the other ones have actually like hard speakers inside.
Okay.
And very thin fabric. And so it's just completely different. And also our Bluetooth module is self-designed from the ground up. In fact, during the pandemic with the chip shortage, we went back to the drawing board and we redesigned things from scratch, and we were able to increase our battery life from 12 hours to 24 hours. So we're very proud of that.
Okay.
My husband's a computer guy. And so, we really worked on that to improve the battery life. And that is, I think, one of the biggest differentiators for us.
Perfect marriage, literally, from the doctor who knows about sleep to the husband who has the technical aspect for good headphones. So I want to thank you for being with us, Doctor, and I want to let everyone know once more time, you can go to sleepphones.com or follow them on social media at SleepPhones. We found out about you from our health coach, Debbie Wright, on Great Day, Connecticut, and she's a big fan. So I thought, well, I got to learn more about this so I can go back to sleep. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Yeah, Debbie said that it really helped her, and she tracked it on her watch, her health tracker, and it really improved the amount that she slept and her REM sleep. So it's really fun to hear those stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when an idea made at your kitchen table literally has gone global. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
You can watch more information on the cutting edge of wellness. We have more CURES episodes right here on WFSB Plus, so go back and take a look at the many health topics. You can also join the CURES Facebook group at CURES, or listen on your favorite platform to the podcast. Have a great day, everyone. Be well.